Call the Selectmen's meeting February 18th, 2026 at the Community Center on 46 Church Street to order. First order of business, to consider and if appropriate approve the minutes for January 21st, 2026. Can I have a motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, item number 2, executive session for tax appeals, and I'd like to make a motion to move item number 4, which is the executive session discussed of a proposed settlement in the Coffis versus Branford pending workers' compensation claim, up to number 3, so we can hear them both at the same time and go into executive session once. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll go into executive session.
This program was brought to you in part through the support of the Town of
Okay, we're going to return from executive session. For the record, Attorney Perito attended the executive session to present the proposed tax appeal settlements. So looking at item number 4, to consider and if appropriate approve proposed settlements of pending tax appeals. Can I get a motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right,
I think she wants you to read the thing.
yeah. As for executive session from once was item number 4, then became item number 3, for the record, Finance Director Kathleen LaBanca and Attorney Murray attended executive session to present the proposed settlement in the Coffin pending workers' compensation case. Now to item number 5, to consider and if appropriate approve the proposed settlement in the J. Coffin versus Town of Branford workers' compensation claim.
Motion to approve.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on now to item number 6.
Right.
To consider and if appropriate approve a request from Blaze Leviton. What I miss?
Sorry, can we just list for the record the tax appeals that were addressed?
Oh, I apologize. My mistake. I missed it again, and we tried, and I blew it. For the record, back to item number 3, the following tax appeals were heard and voted in favor of settling. Nationwide Health Properties, 173 Alps Road, and then Summer Island LLC, 25 Summer Island Road, 28 Summer Island Road, and 76 Sunset Beach. Okay, now on to item number 6. I apologize. I'll get that right one of these days. To consider if appropriate approve a request from Blaze Leviton, Chief Operating Officer, to waive the bid for the replacement of the main electrical switchgear at Branford High School and award the contract to McMillan J. Oroso LLC, DBA McMillan Electric, in the amount of $385,280. If you would, Mr. Leviton.
All right, good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for having me here today. It's good to see all of you. Brendan apologizes. He had a family emergency, so he could not be here, but he did put a lot of work into this, and he did some background work, too, on some electrical rates. So we don't take this request lightly. We don't proceed with bid waivers. And so to give some background and context for some comfort, what we're really looking to do is issue an award under a competitively bid contract from the town of Greenwich that is a very substantial sized contract and offers really competitive rates. McMillan has agreed, and we've used them before. They've been a longtime vendor for Branford Public Schools, but this is a large project. They have agreed to match the rates that they provide in this competitive bid contract that they have. And if you've seen sort of some of the rates in this bid, they're very competitive. I mean, we have an electrician at $68 an hour is cheaper than what we were paying. I went back to 2014 almost with facilities to see when we were paying that. Bucket trucks at $25 an hour. So we're leveraging a contract of very substantial scale in terms of its dollar amount. That went through a competitive bid process, but why McMillan and why now? So by using them for the school project, they're very familiar with the high school, and we will not have to do any electrical design work or bring in an electrical engineer because McMillan sort of already knows all of the switchgear within the building. They know what everything looks like. They're very familiar. They've been in there for about 10 years, and we also know what their work product is as well. And so we're trying to do this project. We're squeezing in a lot of work this summer at the high school as part of the appropriation that was done, the interim appropriation, and we only have sort of 8 weeks to do it. So we're going to order the equipment and then proceed and power through all of this switchgear. This project will bring everything up to consistent switchgear. It'll replace all the panels. We have inconsistent amp and electrical ratings throughout the building to the point where we don't know what some of them were and some of the sections of the building. So McMillan can get in there and put together kind of this really big fix, and it preps us for the next stage of work in the power system, which will be the cogen as well, which is the actual power system. It also fixes a bunch of areas of the building that have been problematic, like the kitchens and the cooking classrooms, which currently have some power switching failure where they want to upgrade some of their appliances, but they're limited based on the constraints that we have in those spaces. This equipment that we're replacing in the master plan report is rated in very poor condition, the electrical switchgear, and so too we want to have somebody who's very competent in doing that work. So that's kind of the high background and sort of what we're looking to do with leveraging this contract. I included in this packet that I sent over last week with, we also reached out, we got permission from the Director of Purchasing for the town of Greenwich to use this contract. We still will have our own certificate of insurance, and we have, obviously, McMillan has agreed to match the rates. Everything still has to satisfy the terms, so we'll still end up overlaying our terms and agreements from our own contract when we issue an award like this. It's similar concept to issuing an award under a state contract when you're using a contract like this. But that's why McMillan, and that's why sort of the time frame we're looking for right now. I'm happy to take any questions.
Just for the audience, could you just tell them that where this work is going on and the funding source of this work?
Yep, there was an interim funding request. So after we did the master plan, part of an interim funding request was for a $10.9 million. The bulk of that 8.2 additional is for the high school roof, but the balance of it was to target the infrastructure, the core infrastructure, electrical, plumbing, and life safety that was rated in very poor and poor condition. And this summer, the goal from using that capital interim funding request is to cover this. Any work that's eligible for a school construction grant, we're partnering with the Public Building Commission. We're coordinating this work with the Public Building Commission, but we're managing it directly through the Board of Ed. Replacement work of like switchgear and wiring is just more of a routine. It's not eligible for a school construction grant. Roof replacement is. So that project is going through the building commission. You have to have a building commission to do a school construction grant. We're doing F-wing. The F-wing HVAC system is currently down. That is also being done this summer. McMillan's been in there. They've done some of the tech work as well. So we're going to be replacing with our current provider, it's Encore. We'll be replacing the fire alarm panels this summer. We'll be replacing some ceiling panels. The pumps, some of the sewage pumps have had some issues in the locker rooms where they've back flooded with what you can imagine coming up and kind of filling up in the sewage as well. So we're going to at least target those with the plumbing, and that gets us sort of through this summer in terms of this summer's construction, as well as replacing all this electrical switchgear. We had them break out so that you could see the pricing of the materials for most of what the order would be. The $214,000 for this project is in the switchgear and wiring material, and the rest is in just the small materials and mostly labor, and it covers the whole building. We did also bring in, as part of this appropriation, we also brought in the Plumbing, our on-call, we have a competitively bid on-call plumber, had them also walk the building for coordinating when you're kind of maybe pulling out any wall or ceiling to make sure that anywhere we're opening up, we're coordinating trades on site with the same person. For anyone that knows our head custodian too, Eric Johnson, he's very, very competent and knows the building in and out as well there. He is helping coordinate some of these projects at the high school as well, because it's a lot in 8 weeks to power through, and that's why we're sort of assembling a team that's as competent as possible and familiar with the building to execute in a short time frame. Without, though, in this case, I would say without looking, we're still looking for using competitively bid rates, because it's still a large dollar amount, and this from doing some other research and what we used to pay for some of our other electrical work, and I'm blanking on the name, this, for example, is $20 an hour cheaper than our other electrical service. So that's some background on kind of the project and what we're looking to do this summer, and I'm happy to take some more questions.
So, of course, I got this yesterday, and as you know, the packet was relatively full.
It's big.
There's a lot of information.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I have some concerns, but we'll see if we can work past this. In the future, I would like this stuff a little bit earlier. I realize there was a holiday weekend and so forth, but like you just said, it's a big ticket item. And I get concerned when we're going outside and using bids, and some of this is based on comfort, let's face it, okay? I think you'll agree to that. Your comfort with this electrician, you're going to find someplace that he had a reasonable rate, bring it forward. I get all that. But I don't want to cut out the local electricians that are also capable. They may or may not be able to meet these prices, but they should be at least given a shot. And unfortunately, there's been several bids throughout the board and the town that seem to, once they get this comfort level, including plumbers and so forth, we don't look towards anybody else anymore, because we want to kind of keep what we have. And that's a concern to me, because I can go out and find prices, but is that really fair to the taxpayer, and the business person? So I would like, for the future, for you to at least consider that and look at that. I don't want to shut down a project by saying no, but I was close to that because of the timeliness of this and what I read out of it, and some of this goes back to 2022, so this has been a spread of whatever competitive bidding they were doing. Sometimes I think that needs to be tightened up a little bit. And again, I get what you have to do, 8 weeks, it's not a lot of time, but there needs to be a little bit of effort put into, trying to take care of the local people too when possible.
Yeah.
It may not be possible, but they at least should get a shot.
Yeah.
Because, at least you're honest, you have a comfort level, and we went and found these prices. I just don't always think that that's the best way to do things. Again, I don't want to hold up the project, because I understand it, but items with this much money involved, and you have bigger ones, there has to be some consideration for outside.
Yeah, I do want to just say, I did send this last week, so if you're just getting it. And it's also something that if you do need some more time to process and the meeting in another 2 weeks, I talked to Brendan. Brendan can come back to in another 2 weeks if there's some questions that we want to work through. And so that you don't feel like this particular thing is being forced down your throat, basically with your back against the wall. And also just globally, something that we're doing, at least at the Board of Ed, as of what we're really prioritizing is exactly what you talked about. And we've been, I think, correcting maybe some prior practices of not putting out things to bid as frequently, I think, as they should be. I'm personally someone who is very big on vendor management and on satisfying competitive bid requirements, and also putting things out to bid more frequently. In our budget proposal, so much so, because we're really dealing with a huge increase in capital right now at the Board of Ed, our budget proposal that will be coming, that will be voted on tonight, actually, Friday at 6:30 includes actually a little extra purchasing support for the board, because we've started to, my own team, we put out on-call HVAC, for example. That went out to bid. That wasn't one of these types of awards. We put out landscaping services. We put out snow services as well. All of the people we have in these, they prioritize like with snow and everything, a surrounding kind of 3-community 20-minute response time for some of these. And we have a list of services that we want to build out that should be competitively bid. We should have more on-call competitively bid so we can bring people in. And what Brendan's been doing, I think, has been a bit of a shakeup where he's diversifying vendors so that you don't have one person. So he now has, 3 painting companies that he spreads work across, and that's not for any other reason other than not putting all your eggs in one basket, for one, and also to share, some of the work so that you have people, when you have capacity issues, to do the same thing. We've done that with our custodial suppliers, even from we used to have everything all in Hilliard. We've divided it up amongst 3 different companies where it makes sense: Magna Clean, Hilliard, WB Mason. Find out where people's strengths are, and we plan on continuing to do that with a lot of our capital. Like we're doing the Tally CPOT, where we'll be making an award on the BHS Memorial one with a local company as well, and that is something that we do talk about quite a bit with doing it. And so we share your value. And it's something, you kind of have a machine that's as large as the Board of Ed that's been swinging in one direction, and so you're turning the ship and trying to do it in a way that you don't shut everything down and just put a stop on everything, but also where you still satisfy a lot of these requirements and kind of do it in a way that is institutionally acceptable. But we really do share, I think, a similar practice and vision as well, and concern.
You're doing what I'm always concerned about, which is preventing single points of failure, because we've had that, and that's never good when you have to start over.
We've had.
So that's my point.
Yeah.
So if you have that, that's a great way to move.
Yeah, we have it now with a couple of critical systems still, and it's ones that we're really trying to move away from because it's not good. It's a huge problem. So, yep.
Good.
Josh. So I concur with Selectman Dunbar's comments, and I just have a couple questions. How long has Macmillan been in the school system helping you guys out?
They've been our full on call for the last year, but they've been working with the schools for at least the last 10 years.
Even with the prior administration?
Yeah, they've split the work. The prior administration was still using Macmillan, and I'm blanking on the other name, and I grabbed the wrong folder, but it's with a V. But there was 2 different companies. Yep.
Okay. And I personally think you did your due diligence, and I'm pretty much prepared to move forward with this. So I put that in the form of a motion.
That's fine. I'll second it then.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, so the bid waiver has been approved.
Thank you. We appreciate the sentiment, and it's something we're working on and open to feedback too. So,
Thank you, Blake.
Thanks.
thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.
You too. Good luck.
Can we slow?
Next meeting.
Can we slow that approval down if you stay here a little longer?
We're also doing a huge transportation study tonight. So we'll have. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you later.
Okay, take care.
See you.
Thanks.
Okay, item number 7, and to consider and if appropriate, approve a recommendation from the town engineer, John Hefferly, to reject the apparent low bid from B&W Paving and Landscaping LLC as non-responsive and accept the second lowest base bid submitted by Richards Corporation as the lowest qualified bidder and award the contract to Richards Corporation in the amount of $1,883,727 for the East Industrial Road reconstruction project.
Good evening. Jennifer Aquino, Assistant Town Engineer, on behalf of the town engineer who couldn't make it tonight. As Selectman Brooks iterated on the agenda, this is a request for awarding a contract to the second low bidder. This contract did go out to bid. As you're aware, it's partially federally funded project through Representative Rosa DeLaura's office. It is the oversight is over with DOT on the project, so it's been, has a lot of oversight regarding the bid proposals that were submitted, comparison of those to make sure there's no errors, omissions, or inconsistencies within that. During that process, we did uncover that the bid was not certified, the low bid was not certified, and through consultation with DOT, their representatives that are overseeing this, they have no issue with us not selecting that low bid as non-responsive because it was not certified. Part of the reason that, at times we would come and request that we waive the informalities when it's in the best interest of the town. We've done that on a number of occasions and come with information that would substantiate that. In this case, we've done the same due diligence, and it is in our opinion that it's not in our best interest to do that, namely because of the concerns with the timing of this project and the amount of projects that B&W has on their books already. I know Mr. Hefferly did submit an extensive package with the backup information on that, which also includes information on, the limits of the construction projects, because I think there was some question about how it was awarded, right? The base bid gets awarded. We have an alternate 1 and 2 where those areas would include. There's an exhibit in there for that. The copy of the bid that wasn't certified. And additionally included in that is a list of open projects that both B&W and second low bidder Richardson has. We are concerned with the $18 million outstanding that B&W has out there. The time period for which some of those projects should have already been completed and are not was a big concern to ours. Additionally, within that package, there is the DAS pre-qualification numbers showing B&W and Richards Corporations what they're pre-qualified through the state. B&W is at their 47% of what they're pre-qualified for. Richards Corporation is 33% of what they're pre-qualified for. They're pre-qualified for a much bigger amount. And based on the fact that they have a lot more to work with in the pre-qualification, though they do have work outstanding. They have the ability to do a lot more work based on the pre-qualification. B&W, they submitted the information showing all of these items that are outstanding, and if we look at the completion dates on those projects, that's concerning to us because those completion dates have some long passed. We understand the urgency with getting this project done as, in an appropriate manner as quickly as we can within the time period of the bid. There's a lot of traffic obviously generated through that area, tractor trailer traffic, businesses in there that rely on that road being open. So to have the least impactful construction we can is definitely within the town's best interest. So with that information, I do request that we proceed in the manner that the town engineer has requested.
Just to clarify, it is in the experience of the town engineer that Richards Corporation, sorry, I should say it, will fit the needs of this project to us 100%, and you're most comfortable, your beliefs in that matter is that they will be responsive and diligent in our project. Is that kind of the basis of it all?
Yeah, their proposal was complete, and they have the capacity based on their pre-qualification and what they have outstanding project-wise to meet the needs of this project from a time standpoint, from a resource standpoint. You look at the projects that they have been involved with, based on their bid that they submitted, more than qualified to do the work.
Okay.
So with that information, I do request that we proceed in the manner that the town engineer has requested.
So
Did I miss Richard's backlog sheet in my packet?
I mean, this is,
I got the other one. I don't recall that one.
I don't think we got it.
It looks like this, it has the RC on there. There was two of them. Yeah, one is, this is B&W.
It's
This
a
is
little bit of yellow.
Yeah. So while the number that Richards has, they have $50 million out there, but their
Yeah.
pre-qualification is, up in the $150 million range. So, they're at 33%.
Can I steal that?
Absolutely.
So again, when John gets back, maybe you can ask him to send this stuff to us a little bit earlier, too?
So this
Because
was
there's a
sent-
lot of papers to go
So it
through.
was sent out, so I'm not, we'll
Well,
have
the
to kind
problem
of
was
look at
is
that process.
It went out like on a Friday to a holiday weekend. By the time they were able to get it to us, I got it Tuesday. A lot of stuff to read in 2 days when it's, these are $100,000 contracts, $1 million contracts. I just, a little bit of time would help, because in this case, in all honesty, this one didn't wind up in my packet or Selectman Villette's packet, so we didn't have this to do any comparison, and that's kind of some of the stuff I was asking about yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I read everything about one, I'd like to be able to justify the other. This would go a long way. I didn't have it.
Gotcha.
And again, I want that project done as much as anybody or more. It's been sitting out there
Well,
for
that-
5 years.
Right. I mean, again, I think the town engineer did his due diligence and.
Yeah, it just didn't make it to us. Well, we didn't get some forms, though, and we should have everything if we're going to do a fair
I
comparison,
understand,
that's
but
all.
based on what was presented to us, I mean, I read through the material, and I think that he's done a.
Oh, no, what he gave us
job.
was great.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
it
again,
all
I'm
wasn't there.
prepared to move forward so we can get this project under.
Well, I want it
underway.
done, that's for sure.
Okay, so I guess we're going to make a motion to
I'll make
accept.
the motion to accept Richards Corporation as the contractor for the Northeast Industrial Road
Second.
project.
Easton Motion.
East, sorry.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you for you coming. See you tomorrow. All right, item number 8, to consider and if appropriate, approve a request from Catherine LaBanca, Finance Director, to waive the bid for auditing services and award the contract to CLA in the amount of $95,000 for the fiscal year 2026 audit.
Hello, everybody.
Catherine, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
So in Branford, the appointing authority for the audit firm is the Board of Finance. However, the town code allows for us to not go out to bid as long as those services are under, $75,000 or under. So this is over that threshold. So for the last few years, Jim has come to this board to ask for a bid waiver. So this year, what I tried to do was kind of put together a letter as to why I feel that we should do a bid waiver for them and keep them as our audit firm. Between continuity, there's been a lot of transition in the offices. There's been a lot of transition at the Board of Ed. They're also down a staff member. So I feel that there's not a lot of firms out there now that do the audit work. And so going out to bid at this point in time, I just don't feel is beneficial for the town. So that's why I'm seeking the waiver.
Thank you, Catherine. How long or how often does CLA do the audits for us?
So CLA is not new, but so we've had, for the most part, the same firm for a long time. When I came here, it was Scully and Wolf, then it went to Bloom Shapiro, and then Bloom Shapiro merged with CLA. So the team has been consistent for years. It's just CLA, I would say maybe 2-3 years ago now. So it's still our same manager on the job, or the director as they call it with CLA, but our partners have changed. So it was, they have a mandatory retirement age for the partners. So we have changed partners, just not the team for the most part.
Isn't this the group that helped get us back on track and catching up with all the audits? We had
Yes,
some
I was
issue-
part of that team, but yes, yeah,
That's
yes,
what I'm
yes,
saying,
yes,
right? This was
yes.
part of the firm you used.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Right.
You know, right now, we're still working on the 25 audit, but by statute, we have to appoint an auditor before June 30th for next year. So I just figured we would do it earlier. I could get it into the budget, and then we could I could present it to the Board of Finance at their February, or it might be March meeting, but so that they could appoint them.
I move it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Aye.
you.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
You're welcome.
And I won't see you tomorrow.
I'm going to call you, though, so don't worry.
His number.
Number 9, to consider and if appropriate, approve a recommendation from the Solid Waste Management Commission to extend the first one-year contract extension at previous bid prices for curbside collection of municipal solid waste and recycling to BRS Services LLC at a cost of $1,714,767.93.
Hi, everyone. So we are now 3 years into these contracts. We have 6 that are coming up that need to be renewed. The first one is the curbside collection of municipal solid waste and recyclables. One thing that we did just have in this packet you should have, I believe, the price is $1,714,000, even though it was originally bid at $1,822,000. And that is because throughout getting this contract up and running, it was indicated to us that BRS Services would not do the hauling of recyclable material. So we pulled that estimate out in the beginning, and we gave 5 years' worth of information to the price with that deduction. If you don't have that sheet, I can happily read off the prices, but that deducted around $107,000 or so dollars, and that is the price we're going with this contract for.
Okay, any questions from here? All right, hearing
I'll move
none.
it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, item number 10. You can stay there, sir.
Yes.
Item number 10, to consider and if appropriate, approve a recommendation from the Solid Waste Management Commission to extend the first one-year contract extension at previously bid prices for municipal solid waste hauling to Cherry Hill Construction, Inc. at a price of $528 per haul to Bristol and $548 per haul to Preston.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item number 11, to consider and if appropriate, approve a recommendation from Solid Waste Management Commission to extend the first one-year contract extension at previously bid prices for bulky waste disposal and hauling to Cherry Hill Construction Incorporated at a price of $110 per ton and $125 per ton
Per haul.
per haul.
I'll move it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item number 12, to consider and if appropriate, approve a recommendation from the Solid Waste Management Commission to extend the first one-year contract extension at previously bid prices for curbside leaf and yard waste collection to ACA Landscaping LLC at a price of $63,000 for curbside leaf collection and $14,111 for curbside yard waste collection.
I'll move it.
Second.
I would like to know for the public out there that the second low bidder, if we were to have not used them in our contract, at this time, it would be $77,000. This is for what we're paying, $77,111.
Correct.
If we had gone to the second low bidder, it would cost us this year $220,528.67. We have a motion on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Item number 13, to consider and if appropriate, approve a recommendation from Solid Waste Management Commission to extend the first one-year contract extension at previously bid prices for rubbish collection from public town receptacles to ACA Landscaping LLC at a price of $61,639.
I'll move it.
Second.
And again, for the public out there, had we gone to the second lowest bidder, this extension would cost us $88,515. I have a motion on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item number 14, to consider and if appropriate, approve a recommendation from the Solid Waste Management Commission to extend the first one-year contract extension at the previously bid prices for recycling of scrap metal to Chuck and Eddie's Incorporated at a revenue-based upon market value.
So this one, I'll just say, when it was bid, if you actually dive into what was written here, it doesn't match directly, but when speaking with Chuck and Eddie's, it was indicated that this 75% meant the town will be receiving 75% of the revenue. And at that time, the Solid Waste Management Commission believed that would be the best for this contract because it gives us the highest potential earning. And in comparison, the next lowest was essentially $152 per gross ton, which if you compare that to $262 per gross ton, that's 58%.
I move it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, item number 15th, green use. To consider and if appropriate, approve a request from Marion Lovig for use of the town green on May 7th, 2026 to National Day of Prayer at 6 p.m.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Okay, item number 16, appointments. To Water Pollution Control Authority. A slight change to the agenda, as you saw. The first appointment would be to the alternate spot, Kurt Johnson, to fill a vacancy left by Christopher Diadamo, term to expire October 15th, 2030. Brian DiOrlando to fill a vacancy left by James, I should practice these first. Intaglia, term to expire October 15th, 2028. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, item number 17, reappointments. To the Board of Police Commissions, would you like to take these one at a time or just do them all together?
I don't see a problem doing them all at once.
It's fine.
Okay. Reappointments. Board of Police Commissioners. John Susalas, term to expire January 31st, 2028. Robert Nash and Valerie Wilkins, terms to expire January 30th, 2029.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Board of Fire Commissions. Donald Conklin and Jack Ahern, terms to expire January 31, 2029. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. To the Greater New Haven Transit District. James Cosgrove, term to expire December 31st, 2029. Can I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And finally, Water Pollution Control Authority. Kurt Uline and David Stenhart, I get to practice, terms to expire October 15th, 2029. And Christopher Diadamo, term to expire October 15th, 2030. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Item number 18, correspondence, considering we have none. We'll go to item number 19, any other business to come before this body?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Motion, meeting is adjourned.
This program was brought to you in part through the support of the Town of Branford. Watch town meetings and other videos on demand at BranfordTV.org.